Hi guys, and welcome to the Wedding Talk Show. Woohoo! Today we're going to be talking about how to get married in 3 months or less. Yes, I know that a lot of people consider it a very difficult task to get married, to plan a wedding in 3 months. Like, it's your dream wedding, it's your special day. How can you actually plan it in 3 months or less? But I'm here to show you that you can have your dream wedding regardless of the time constraints that you can have. While this is not saying that you should get married, you should wait till it's 3 months or less before you start planning your wedding. This podcast is going to show you that regardless of the amount of time you need or you have available to plan your wedding, you can actually still have your dream wedding. So it is important to note that all couples move through the same wedding steps. So it's like all professional wedding planners will tell you that there are different critical steps to take when you are planning a wedding, and those steps includes visualization. So you have to say, oh, what's your dream wedding day dream? What have you envisioned for your wedding day? What have you seen? What are the elements that you like to see on your wedding day? So you have to go through that phase. It's a very critical part of wedding planning. Of course, decision making, what matters most and what would give the most impact on your desired outcome. It's a step that we professional wedding planners go through with every of our couples. Sometimes these things are decisions we make on our own by ourselves because we've gotten feedback based on consultation. We've gotten, oh, these are the things that are going to give you your desired outcome, and then we don't necessarily relate that to you. And also choosing the perfect venue. Yes, your wedding venue, your reception venue is a critical step. Securing vendors are also suppliers. If you've not listened to the podcast on the number of vendors you need, the minimum number of vendors you need for your wedding, you should that's on a previous episode. I think that's like 2 weeks ago, so you should definitely listen to that. So you need to secure vendors and suppliers that will work to deliver your dream wedding. And of course, you cannot neglect your wedding day coordination. So organizing the wedding day timelines, what's the wedding day flow going to be like, different timelines for different people who are important to the success of the wedding. So your vendor timeline, your couple timeline, and things like that. So as we proceed, I would actually like to just let you know that I have a written printable wedding planner. In fact, I was going through it again and I was like, wow, this is a lot of information. Like, it is broken down into simple aspects that would help, that serves as a guideline to break up tasks to ensure smooth execution, and then you don't leave out any details. So I'm going to leave the link in the description below for you to get access to the printable wedding planner. It's paid, it's not free, but trust me, it's the best investment you're going to make for your wedding. To get your dream wedding is the best investment, and the return on investment is huge, because the wedding planner is actually like the cost of maybe like 2 shawarmas thereabouts. And consider the impact it would have on your whole wedding, the entire wedding planning process, and even the outcome of your wedding. Right, so it's filled with venue requirements, questions to ask vendors to make your decision easy and quickly. While we're talking about planning your wedding in 3 months or less, there are things you need to note. Since you don't have all the time, you have to make decisions quickly. So it have to be, we're not saying rush into decisions and saying that, oh, the very first vendor that you meet, you just go ahead and book that vendor. No, but decisions have to be made quickly. You need to inform your friends and family about your wedding date. Typically in Nigeria, the family would agree on the wedding date, right? But you need to inform other family members. You need to inform the friends, the people you want to be at that wedding. Just let them know beforehand. Say, oh guys, I'm getting married, it's in 3 months, or it's on this specific day. So people can begin to look into their calendars to say, okay, you know what, I'm available, I'm not available, okay, I need to move certain prior engagements and things like that. You have create a preliminary RSVP link to confirm those that would love to attend. Just send it out. You don't need to have a venue, location and things like that. You already know that, for example, maybe you already know that the wedding is going to be in Lagos, for example, so you don't have to put specifics of, oh, this is the venue or this is the exact location. So just because it's a preliminary link, send it out, let people feel it, so your friends, your colleagues and all of that, so you have an idea of, oh, okay, these are people that would love to come attend or will be available on that day. And then you have to, one of the first things you need to do is reserve your venue and then send out invitations. The invitations can be e-invite or hard copy invite, right? So as we proceed, we'll look at budget. Yeah, one of the things in planning your wedding with that short period of time, you have to consider your budget. And in my printable wedding planner, I have on page 5, you would see that there are different items to budget for. A lot of times, a lot of couples make the mistake of just budgeting for what easily comes to mind, right? And sometimes when they do that, you now have it feels like you have your budget can accommodate some other things or unnecessary expenses. Meanwhile, you're leaving out particular details wherein it comes like 2 weeks to the wedding, 3 weeks to the wedding, and then you discover that, this is actually important, I've not paid for this, I need to factor this, and then you begin to compromise on elements that are actually important to giving you your dream wedding. So my printable wedding planner on page 5, you would see that there are different items to budget for, which would help you estimate what your total costs would be like, and that will help you, of course, in planning for your wedding. And also to note that when we're talking about budgeting is not just the amount I want to spend or myself and my partner want to spend on this wedding. When you're talking about budgeting, especially when you have that, you don't have an unlimited budget, right? You also have to consider, okay, in Nigeria, for example, I'm using Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria, and sometimes you have that family member inputs in planning your wedding. So somebody saying, you know what, I will give you this amount, or I'm going to pay for this. And when they say, maybe I'm going to pay for your decor, you have to ask, to what extent, like what's the cost you're looking at? Am I free? You want to give me my dream decor, or you have an amount in mind, and you put this as part of your budget. So then you can now identify, say, I'm not paying for this person is paying for that, and things like that. A few major elements to consider when you're looking at your budget is your reception venue, your catering, your decoration, photography and videography. I mentioned these 4 things because they are like one of the highest costs when it comes to wedding planning. These things they take a huge chunk of your budget depending on what your budget is like. When planning your wedding in 3 months or less, you have to determine what matters most, what's the most important thing to you, because understand that you are unique, and so should your wedding, regardless of the planning time that you have. I would advise that you both take time to write down the things that matter most to you as you plan your special day. I typically recommend a minimum of 3 important things. These are like what you consider must-haves at your dream wedding on this special day. What are the 3 must-haves on your special day? Then once you have that, you can then fill it on page 3 of my dream wedding questionnaire, which is on the printable wedding planner. It's important for you to prioritize upfront so that you don't waste time when problems, limitations arise, and then you pick your battles wisely. In Nigeria, a lot of times you have family input, parent input, people want particular things at your wedding, And you have to pick your battles wisely. It's not everything that you're going to fight about. Say no, this must. Once you have your must haves, those are the things that you can't compromise on, right? And then other things, the nice to haves, we can then compromise on it. So it's not going to be a case of, oh, you know what, this wedding doesn't feel like me at all. You're still going to have yourself at the wedding or in the wedding in all the elements, but you pick your battles wisely so that other stakeholders are also happy. They feel like, oh, this, I'm giving my daughter a wedding that I want. Things like that. You also need to highlight all the vendors that you need for your special day. There's a vendor sheet on the printable wedding planner. You'd highlight all the vendors that you need so that you don't miss out anything. Then start actively searching and examining recommendations. So you actively search for vendors and examine recommendations. Sometimes you have friends that have used a particular vendor, or their recommendations, oh, this person is good, this person did this, I liked what this person did, and all of that. So you have to start actively searching for vendors and examining recommendations. And there are specific vendor related questions you need to ask. It's not, many times people make the mistake of saying that, oh, this vendor is good and then I'm just going to use this vendor for my wedding. Remember, I said earlier that your wedding is unique. Not every vendor is going to fit into your dream wedding, what you already written down to say, oh, this is what I want my dream wedding to look like. It is not that vendor is bad, but they don't just fit into the dream that you want for your wedding day. So there are related questions, specific questions you need to ask vendors, and you can find this from page 9. It will serve as a guide on questions that you need to ask vendors while you are planning before you engage their service, right? And then confirm vendors and begin payments. Also, you have to think quick. On a lot of times we already have like our wedding dress style, or we have a vision of this is what I want my dress to be like. I picked my colors and all of that. You have to think fast. When you have a limited amount of time, it's usually, I would advise that you get a wedding planner. You can contact us. Eventigo is a wedding planning company, an event planning company in Nigeria. So you can just contact us to plan all of this, and then all these details would be part of what our job description is. But if not, you can definitely plan your wedding yourself, or it's even good to be in the know, so you know, oh, what are the things that this wedding planner is actually doing and things like that. So I'm going to stop here for today, and in the next episode we'll continue on how you can plan your wedding in 3 days. We're going to talk about your wedding day coordination, execution of your dream wedding, and then other different elements that are important even in the planning process, right? So remember that I've dropped the link in the description below to get my printable wedding planner, and that would help you. It will save you time, it will save you money, it will save you everything, and ensure that you have a seamless wedding planning process. You can get that in the link is on the description below. And thank you for listening. My name is Oluwadara Ilesomi. I am the creative director of Eventigo. Eventigo is a wedding and event planning company in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. And this wedding talk show is sponsored by Eventigo. If you would like to sponsor, you would like to partner with us to make sure that you have more episodes, fresh episodes, definitely contact us. If you have questions regarding your wedding, just send your questions to twts@myeventigo.com, and we'll be sure to respond to your questions and talk about this thing. We want to make sure that you get your dream wedding, and without the stress attached. Getting your dream wedding without the stress attached, at a good price and all. That is why we actually have this talk show, so that you don't have to go through this process alone. We are here for you. We are here to hold your hands to ensure that you walk through this and come out on the wedding day beautiful, and you can relive the memories of your wedding ceremony. So I'll see you next week Friday. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, follow this podcast, share this link with your friends, share this link with your family, favorite this podcast if you like it. I'm sure you already like it, so just favorite, go ahead and favorite it, and subscribe to our podcast. So till I see you again next week Friday, stay good, be safe, and remember to be kind. Bye bye.